Welcome to Salsido Paranormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm continuing my series on haunted places in the U.S. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media, ways to listen, and ways to support the show at the website, and that is salsidoparanormal.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.com. There are many ways to support the show. You can always share the show with others and rate and review it on your favorite podcast platform. You can sign up for the Patreon feed and get all the extra content there for as little as $1 a month. You can also check out the merchandise store and get all kinds of shirts and other items there with designs made by friends of the show. You can also please, well, I'm skipping a part here. Support is never expected, but always appreciated. There we go. As there are expenses in making these shows. Also, please check out links in every episode description for friends of the show. That would be Jen, the Arcane Observer, who is the co-host of the show on Saturdays when she is able to make it. And then also Michael Strange of Trouble Minds Radio and the Trouble Minds Radio Network, KUAP, Digital Broadcasting, where you can hear all kinds of amazing shows as well as my own 24/7 online for free. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these shows, so it'll probably take a little while to get back into it again. But this is a series on just a handful of places in each of the states in the U.S. That I was able to find a little bit of information about regarding the history and haunting of each location. And so I was able to get some information and a summary written up. And I have a couple of links for each location I will put in every episode description in this series. So you can go and start looking into it yourself and find pictures and all those things, and also find out the current status of these locations, as in whether it's okay or not to visit, and when it's okay to visit, and all of those other important details, because some places may not be open, and sometimes things change over time from whenever the sources that I have for these shows, whenever they're published. So please make sure, if you're thinking about visiting any of these places, make sure you know all the details about how and when it is okay to do that, because I do not recommend trespassing for all kinds of reasons. I think that takes care of that. We are still in the state of Iowa, and that's where we'll start here. And so, yeah, I think that covers everything. So let me get to this next location, and we'll go from there. This first one here for the night is the Squirrel Cage Jail in Council Bluffs. And this is in Iowa. It's a unique historical jail with a rotating cell design, notable for its architecture, notable events, and paranormal reputation. Below is a summary of its history and reported haunting phenomena, followed by direct links to sources. Okay, this is just a summary I have here. Built in history. Built in 1885, the Squirrel Cage Jail was designed with 3 stories of pie-shaped revolving cells, enabling jailers to control inmate access by rotating the massive 90,000-pound steel drum holding the cells. The jail operated until 1969, with its mechanical rotation disabled after a prisoner died. It was built on the site of a former church morgue and experienced several deaths within the building, including inmates and a deputy during a strike mob incident in 1932. Only 3 rotary jails remain in the United States. The Squirrel Cage Jail in Council Bluffs is the only one that is 3 stories tall. After closure, the jail became a museum run by the local historical society, retaining signatures and graffiti from its former inmates. Hauntings and paranormal activity. The jail is frequently cited as one of Iowa's most haunted sites, with reports of footsteps, unexplained noises, doors opening on their own, and cold spots throughout the building. A jailer historically refused to live in the fourth floor apartment due to persistent disturbances and opted for the second floor instead. Documented deaths include 4 known fatalities, 3 inmates and 1 deputy. The jail's proximity to the old morgue and its use as a holding site for riot victims is believed to contribute to its reputation for a supernatural manifestation. Visitors and paranormal teams report ghostly voices, as EVP says there, which is electronic voice phenomenon, which is where you don't hear anything with your ears, but when you do a recording, you still get a voice on there somehow. Apparitions, shadows, mysterious photographs, and electromagnetic spikes in the museum. The Squirrel Cage Jail has, appeared on paranormal television specials such as Travel Channel's Most Terrifying Places and Ghost Adventures Serial Killer Spirits. Let's see. And actually, that's the end for that one. So, again, so many prisons have reports of activity in them, and I can sort of understand why in a way. They're not. It's because of the nature of what it is and all the emotion and everything going on there. So, moving on to this next one here. This is the Matthias Ham House. Dubuque, Dubuque is the name of the town. And let's see here. Looking at the chat here. And hello everyone there. I see you. Thank you for being here. And but this is again in Iowa. And this house is a historic 19th century mansion built in the 1850s for Matthias Ham, a prominent businessman and lead miner. It is an Italianate style home that now serves as a museum operated by the Dubuque, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, I apologize, County Historical Society. The house is known for both its architectural significance and its reputation for paranormal activity. Going into history now. The house was designed by John F. Rigg, not sure, R-A-G-U-E, and constructed in 1857, expanding from an earlier stone cottage built by Ham in 1839. Matthias Ham built his fortune primarily through lead mining, riverboat commerce, and various business ventures in Dubuque. Apologize again. It's annoying me that I should have looked up how to say that name. Anyway, the mansion reflects the prosperity of Ham and his family, with 21 rooms, elegant Italian architectural features, and a belvedere used historically for watching the city and river activities. In 1911, Ham's daughter, Sarah, sold the house to the city, and it was later converted into a museum while retaining on site structures such as a uh, lost my spot, historic log house, there we go, and a one room schoolhouse. The Ham family was important to the city's early commercial, and civic development. Hunting and paranormal activity. The house has a long standing reputation for paranormal occurrences, attributed in part to the numerous deaths and tragedies within the home, uh, including family members and a violent incident where Sarah Ham shot and killed an intruder. Visitors and museum staff have reported cold spots, moved objects, phantom footsteps, flickering lights, and music from an organ that is no longer operable. While no clear apparitions have been reported, the sense of presence and unexplained phenomena suggest lingering spirits connected to the family and the violent history of the home. So that's the end of that location. It's amazing how many. I'm always glad when I hear that these places are preserved, are kept, and turned into museums in a way because it's better than having them just completely be abandoned and fall apart and then in some cases just get taken down and have new developments, new buildings put there in their place. I mean it's going to happen for I guess everywhere at some point, but it's always good to hear when these museums are made and these locations are preserved. So, but yeah, I imagine in places that have been around, homes that have been around for over 100 years, that's a lot of energy going on in one location. I mean, really, it's like I always say. I think there's paranormal activity all around the world, everywhere. It just depends on the time and the place. So, and who's there to notice it. But moving on to this next location here. This is the Farrar Schoolhouse in Maxwell, Iowa. So the schoolhouse uh, has a rich history as a rural consolidated school and a significant reputation for paranormal activity. Going into the history now. The schoolhouse was established beginning in 1915 when local farmer C.G. Geddes donated 6 acres the land of his land to create a consolidated school for the rural Washington township, merging several one-room schoolhouses into a single modern building. Construction began in 1921, and the school was dedicated on April 1st, 1922, with a large ceremony attended by hundreds and featuring an orchestra. Uh, let me see here. Orchestra banquet. Okay. The new school was notable for its modern features such as boiler heating, electric lighting. I don't want to say electronic, and indoor plumbing. A lavish expense for the time that provoked some local controversy. For around 80 years, the school served the community until the early 2000s. That's a little ways. Um, it closed in 2002 after consolidating into a larger district school with a closing ceremony mirroring the opening festivities. The building remained mostly intact after closure and was later purchased in 2006 by Jim and Nancy Oliver, who aimed to restore it while living there. Haunting and paranormal activity. The school is famous for ghost stories and paranormal occurrences reported over many decades by students, teachers, staff, and later residents. Common phenomena include unexplained voices, phantom footsteps, door slams, knocks, bangs, shadow figures, cold spots, and sudden odors. The building is known for a tall, dark apparition seen near the top floor office, ascended from sketching by early investigating. Sketching? I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, this specter is considered a dominating, excuse me, dominating presence, possibly linked to a former principal. Sounds of children playing and laughing are frequently heard, especially near the old boiler room, where other mysterious activities, including moving toys and objects, has been reported. Investigators have noted intelligent responses to questions through noises and unexplained lights and electromagnetic phenomena inside the school. The nearby cemetery is sometimes speculated to contribute to the haunting. However, no verified connection exists. Well, okay. That's where that one ends. Of course, there's no verified connection if there's no. That's going to be sort of hard to figure out for sure, um, at least through traditional means. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was some connection. You hear about a lot of places that are built near a cemetery or graveyard. They have activity in them. So and so yeah. And hello everyone there. Thank you all for being here. But yeah, so that's quite a lot of activity. Let's see if I can get one more done here, and before we have to end this episode. This next one is the Cresco Theater and Opera House in Cresco. Cresco, I'm guessing that's how to say it. So this is a historic venue known for both its rich history and its enduring reputation for paranormal activity. Historical background. The Cresco Theater and Opera House was constructed in 1914 to replace Lyric Hall. I like that name, which had become unsafe by that time. It officially opened doors in 1915, offering entertainment through both live performances and the projection of movies, making it a forward-thinking venue for its day. The opening performance was a touring production of Hijinks, High, and then the word Jinx, Jinks, and its original wooden seats could accommodate 725 patrons, though the present capacity is around 425 after updates over the decades. The building has undergone multiple renovations, including the installation of a new marquee in 1941, seat upgrades, and extensive restorative work carried out in the late 1970s and again in the 2010s. The structure features an orchestra pit and wing stages and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Reputation and reports of haunting. The Cresco Theater and Opera House is widely considered one of the top haunted theaters in the Midwest. Stories from staff, guests, and paranormal investigators suggest multiple spirits may reside within. Apparitions of vaudeville era performers are reportedly seen on stage when the building is quiet. That's always fascinating. Witnesses have described seeing a ghostly figure sitting in the audience, which disappears when approached. Some report strange electrical disturbances, disembodied voices, and unexplained noises, especially in the basement of the theater. The theater regularly hosts paranormal investigations due to the local lore and ongoing reports of ghost activity. Local engagement and paranormal tourism. The theater staff have acknowledged the location's haunted reputation, sometimes arranging for local groups and professionals to conduct paranormal investigations within a supervised setting. There we go. This engagement with the building's ghostly lore has made it a popular destination for those interested in uh, haunted history. The Cresco Theater and Opera House remains a functioning entertainment venue, continuing its legacy as both a landmark for community events and a site of enduring supernatural intrigue. And I guess that's probably where we will end this episode. As far as there's not enough time for another one of these stories here, but wow, yeah, thank you, Sweets, for I believe, yep, Sweets, for finding that link. Um, I might have that one, but if not, I will include it in the episode description. So, and yeah, so this has been really fun as usual. I love these finding out about these places, and as I always say, really this whole series, even though we're still in the middle of it, this is really just the sort of, as far as I can tell, it's just the tip of the iceberg. This is just like 5 to 10 locations in each state in the U.S. that I was able to find articles on about the history and the paranormal activity there. And to do an extensive list, I don't even know how one would do that um, without visiting almost every building in the U.S. And obviously, that's not going to happen, or at least having someone do that and report back. And then the other problem with that is so often the paranormal does not act on command, uh, and it shouldn't have to. Um, Sort of going back to this thing that I always wonder about, and kind of, I don't know. There's this whole, there needs to be a balance between paranormal investigations and preserving the history of a place, and but also uh, being respectful of whoever else might be there. So, but that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all next time on Salsido Paranormal. Take care.